Sorry, Colt. That is not the correct title slide. I have got to give the people the new one. Got to give the people what they want. Come on now. This is not the way I envisioned this going. It's going to be worth it. Trust me. I'm slowly watching the Wheel of Doom over here go. All right, let me take y'all down. So I'm trying to give you guys the new and upgraded intro. The one thing that I failed to do was upload it onto my StreamYard. So if y'all will bear with me, it's going to be worth it. Trust me, it will be worth it. And you know, as Meg can attest, I've had some struggles. Last night I was going live multiple times, trying to play with OBS. So give me a quick second. And of course, I'm having technology issues. All right, let's just go ahead and bring everybody up. How can everybody hear me? Because it looks like my signal's pretty poor here.
We're good.
Good.
You're good.
Okay. Yeah, signal's picking back up now. Good. It's the old Best Western Plus in Fairbanks, Alaska. It's a great thing. So welcome in, World Wrestling Vlog family. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us. As I mentioned earlier, I am live from sunny Fairbanks. But glad I can be here with the people tonight. And we've got a number of cool things lined up for you guys. Tonight we are going to talk about factions. And I think that's some of everybody's favorite topics to talk about, because if you grew up a wrestling fan, I'm sure you had your favorite faction, and we're going to talk about some of those tonight. And we're going to introduce the non-jabroni, Rudy Poo, candy ass wheel of choices, wheel of questions tonight, which is going to be great. And we're also going to debut this new title intro as soon as it comes up. We're adding the most recent member of our faction, the Sarge. All right, here we go. Boom. It's going to work now. All right, we're up. What did y'all think about that? We got to see our very own shooter on the mat.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great.
All right. Hey, so before we get going, what do you think about the positioning of that referee there, Billy J?
It was good. It was good.
All right, so we'll start with the comments here, and let's see who all is in the chat. We have got the mod of all mods, Mr. Paul Vine's favorite person, everyone's favorite person, Meg, Captain Billy J.
I'm rather fond of her.
Moonlight Adventures. Yeah, I think we all are, but I think you're more fond than most.
Probably so.
We've got the most beautiful valet in all the business, Chastity. Hello. We have Mr. Josh. We were talking about him a little bit before we got started. I'm going to have to him up here in a little bit. But yeah, so that's all who's in the at least that's all who's speaking. We have more than that watching, I can tell. There's people out there creeping. They're creeping. But that's okay. You don't have to be made known. So tonight we're going to talk factions, as we talked about before. Also, we want to bring up a little bit of recent developments in the wrestling world. So I'm really looking forward to this Moxley Punk match. It's going to be a pretty good build up there. I hope they keep it in the ring. That's just my opinion. How do y'all feel about it? They won't keep it in the ring.
I'm excited for it too. Yeah, I'm excited for it too. I think there's going to be a big build up for it, but they're not going to keep it in the ring. It's going to turn into a bloodbath.
You know, they would have done good. They've already burned this opportunity because during the MJF Punk feud they did it, but you know, CM Punk and Moxley in a dog collar match would have probably been great.
Yeah,
but I think the only problem there is you have to have a heel that you want to see hurt, and I don't know that anybody. I mean, this is a face versus face match really here.
Yeah,
that's the only problem I would see with that as Booker Josh. I mean, I'm not a booker, but I like to pretend.
I don't really know why they moved
every
it
Saturday
to Dynamite. I don't know why because they did have it on the pay-per-view, and then they moved it to Dynamite next week. I don't really know why they chose to do that.
Ratings,
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and they pay attention to what Jim Cornette says a lot. And if you listen to his podcast and you hear him complaining about Dynamite and what they could or couldn't do, they usually do what he says. And you know, he's been talking about the lack of talent on Dynamite for a while, or not on Dynamite, on Rampage. So I think they're trying to beef that show up a little bit. You know, it could do without the Trustbusters. That is probably I hate seeing them more than I hate seeing the Best Friends.
Yeah, that's rough. Not a fan.
And
the one
it's
guy
bad
they got
because
with them, what's his name? I don't know. The big dude. I think he has potential to I think he has potential. He could be like a Brock Lesnar top guy in years from now. But that group he's in sucks. That's dumb.
I think they just had to. So I've been seeing them on Dark because every once in a while I'll watch Dark, and I think they were just trying to feed them some competition to make them look better than what they were, so they could be a part of the trios tournament, and then they'll probably bust them back up. So big thing though that's going on. How do you guys feel about the Triple H era in WWE? I'm excited. I've seen some doggone good matches here in the past 2 weeks on Raw. How you feel about it, Paul?
Looking forward to it. I like Triple H behind the scenes. I know I sound like a broken record on this, but I love what he done in NXT. Him, Regal, Dusty. I mean, they had that real special at one time. So much that I'd rather watch it than Raw or SmackDown for a while there. So looking for great things come from Triple H because he's old school. He's an old school wrestling fan. So should be good.
Trained by the man.
Very true.
Harley Race. You know, the same with probably one of the best in-ring performers today, Tommaso Ciampa. I mean, I was just, you know, man crushing a little bit on Ciampa, watching him wrestle this past week or maybe it was the week before. Yeah, so he came out in the Harley Race outfit, garb, costume, whatever you want to call it, ring attire. And but, you know, it's the simple things that he does, like the leverage that he puts on a headlock, the additional leverage he gets when he bulldogs a headlock and he arches his back, and it makes it look more like a competition instead of a kayfabe, you know, going through the motions.
Yeah.
How you feel about
Yeah,
it,
it's sort of-
Billy?
I like the Tommaso Ciampa. Yeah, definitely adds realism to the match, definitely. And I agree. Triple H is going to be great for the business going forward. I actually have seen an improvement with
Yeah.
Raw, and so yeah, it's going to get much better too.
I've watched Raw for 2 weeks in a row. First time since Dylan was in high school that I've done that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've been watching it. That's why I texted Daddy and I was like, "You need to watch this Raw. It's got a few good matches on it." So we had Ciampa and AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, and what's his name?
Theory.
No, not Dolph Ziggler. Theory. This was the one where he wrestled.
A-Town Down. Oh, when he wrestled, you're talking about when he had Chad Gable.
Yeah, Chad Gable, and that was first 10 minutes of that match was
they put on a
wrestling
folk style exhibition.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I in my opinion, I thought Dolph Ziggler looked better than Chad Gable. I thought he was.
Oh yeah, well, and there's that Ohio Minnesota rivalry there.
Yeah,
and Gable, I mean he's obviously a great folk style wrestler, but a lot of people don't understand how good Dolph was because he never wrestled in the Olympics or anything. He left college and went straight into the WWE.
Yeah.
But to have the all-time wins and all-time pins record at Kent State, that's not a small feat.
No, sir. He shows it in the ring.
The other match that really surprised me, yeah, he does. He does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he does it every time. I mean, he gives his nod and tribute to being a shooter and being a amateur wrestler the way he starts almost every match, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The other match that really impressed me, I mean, there were some good matches, but I thought it would be, and I hate to use this term because it sounds like a pun. Thought it would be a styles clash. Was AJ and Lashley. That match turned out to be a barn burner. I really enjoyed that match. That was you may not have seen it yet, Dylan. But that was this week's Monday Night Raw.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
The US Championship match. It was fantastic.
I saw Ciampa and Bobby Lashley, and that was pretty good too. It seems like they're actually kind of pushing Ciampa a little bit, and like the crowd actually gets behind Ciampa. And but that was I thought they put on a pretty good match. So.
And I like the way they're using Miz right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't be more pleased. The women's division still lacks a little bit. I mean, we got to get Charlotte and Becky back.
Yeah.
But and who is picking out what Bailey wears?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean,
they figure
she looks like a completely different
got
person.
On her pants, the better, I guess.
I know. Yeah, it's she looks like a soccer mom that's trying to pretend like she's still in high school or something.
Yeah, I don't know the thought process behind that.
Yeah, but this last week's Raw, and I try not to be too much of a spoiler if no one has watched it yet. But so that the Lashley match, the Theory Ziggler match was another one that was just really good, and Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre, they had a good match, really good build up to Clash at the Castle.
No.
We're glad to see Kevin starting to get a little edge back to him. Instead of just being kind of cartoonish, he's coming out saying, trying to get his respect back. I like that.
I wish they'd let him go all the way back to the way he was in Ring of Honor when he called himself Mr. Wrestling.
Steen.
And he, back then, yes, when he was Steen, Steen's going to kill you and all that kind of stuff. That's what and he had a little bit of that when he first came into the business, as far as WWE's business is concerned. And then they got away from it with the Kevin Owens and the Fight Owens fight. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, when he came out on the previous Raw and put old Ezekiel
Yeah.
through the apron, I was like, that's the Kevin Owens I know and love.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, I like that. He's got that Dirty Dick Murdoch kind of Stan Hansen-ish thing going on where he don't have a bodybuilder physique, but you can tell he's country strong.
Yeah.
And I
Yes,
love it. I love it. Well, all right, let's get into the business at hand, gentlemen, if you want to, and what we'll do, because righty tighty, lefty loosey, we're going to go clockwise. So we'll start with Dylan, and we're going to talk. Sorry,
You missed one thing this past week. Kenny Omega being
go ahead, Dylan. Go ahead.
Kenny Omega coming back. Kenny Omega coming back to Dynamite.
Oh yeah. Well, that was a disappointment for me personally, but
Yeah.
some people love old Twinkle Toes McFingerbang.
I haven't really seen too much of him.
He could be special if he wanted to.
I have to give it to him. He probably did his best piece of business in AEW this past week. I mean, with selling the injury, the Bucks tried to tell a story instead of just going crazy with moves. It actually was a pretty good match and a pretty good return for Kenny Omega, I thought.
Yeah.
And I normally don't like the afterbirth that they have with some of these matches, but I think this thing that they're doing with I can't remember, Dragon Lee and the fallout he's having with I can never in Goblet Infactionado in Goblet or something or other, however you say it. But I think that's going to be good. And
they're good though. They're good heels. Roosh and Andrade.
I like Roosh.
But I like both of them. They're both good wrestlers. I mean, they are good. And
the more I see Roosh, the more I like him.
Yeah, they can go.
All right. Is there anything else I missed? Y'all feel free to snag me. I'll run away with this thing, and I'll just run my mouth.
I don't think so.
All right. So what we're going to do, guys, and go ahead and add this to the stream. This is the Wheel of – I hate to call it the Wheel of Doom. I call it the Wheel of Doom on our travel channel because there's things that you don't want to do on the wheel. However, in this case, I think, there's fun to be had on the wheel. So this is the Wheel of Excitement, the Wheel of Heat. I don't know, Wheel of Heat. Instead of the Wheel of Meat, it's the Wheel of Heat. So we'll start with
get interesting.
And it will. I like this. It may go over like a fart in church, like I said before. If so, we'll kill it and we'll do something different. But let's give it a shot. So Dylan is up first. Going to spin the wheel. All right, Dylan. So what you're gonna do is, from the Attitude Era, tell us one of or your favorite. It's up to you. Whatever you want to talk about, faction from the Attitude Era.
I'd go with D-Generation X. I mean, I know that's
you didn't know
picture. Yeah, but I always like DX. They went past Attitude Era too, but. But yeah, I mean, I thought they're great. It's WWE's answer to NWO, really. But
it was actually better because the NWO was getting out of control at that point.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, is that they actually knew how to continue with it instead of just making the entire WWE be DX, like all of WCW was NWO. And,
that was silly.
Yeah.
But
DX was good. I mean, it's probably my favorite WWE faction of all time is DX.
Well, and the things that splintered off from this, the feuds and things that went on from the Attitude Era and everything that was going on here. the fact that they had the foresight to bring in a tag team, they had the cruiserweight, you know, they had the guy that was over that everybody liked in HBK, and then of course Triple H just being the cerebral assassin, and then you had China, who, I mean, she could take the men or the women, and you know, she was fantastic, and she had a, you know, even for, I remember seeing her as a kid and thinking, my God, that's a scary woman, you know. And she was, I mean, she was legit bad to the bone. Paul, do you know where she came from? I mean, did they find her from bodybuilding, or did she
Oh, China? Jody? No,
Yeah.
she trained with Killer Kowalski with
okay.
Triple H.
Yeah, you could tell she had some formal training. I mean, she knew how to bump, she knew how to work.
Oh yes. They said she got in there and done it right along with the guys. Every bump, everything.
I believe it.
Yeah, and you know, she was in bed with the new boss for a while, so her and Triple H were a thing before Stephanie. A lot of people don't know that.
Really?
Yeah. All right, let's give her another spin, and this is going to be for Billy this time. So everybody understands the rules of engagement here, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Oh, please.
Any era of WCW.
I got to go with the NWO.
Yeah.
Wolfpack?
I actually like the Wolfpack better than the Black and White. So
yeah, too sweet.
Yes.
Too sweet. So out of the NWO, you don't strike me as your favorite from the NWO being Hogan. Who is your favorite member of the faction, the NWO?
Probably Scott Hall is what I go for.
Chismo.
Yes.
Hey, chico.
Hey, chico.
Hey, chico. Man, I wish, you know, as much as I enjoyed what he did in the NWO, talking about Scott Hall, I would have loved to have seen what he could have done as Razor in WWF too. Because that was one of those, you know, I put Cornette over all the time, but Cornette was talking about how there was only one person that could have taken the Undertaker gimmick and done it for as many years as the Undertaker did, and that was Mark Calloway. And
yes, sir.
I think Scott Hall could have done the same thing with Razor. On the face of it, that was a corny freaking gimmick. He owned it and made it his. I mean, I remember when I was a kid watching those, you know, he was the Cuban gangster, you know, in the streets of Miami, and he did great with it. So, Paul, I know you have some, you're familiar with some of his work in Memphis.
Oh yeah, Scott Hall and down in Florida did great work down there under Dusty's tutelage, and up in the AWA, he was World Tag Team Champions with Kurt Hennig, I do believe. I mean, Scott's had a great career.
Yeah, you don't get to work with those guys if you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have to say though, the guy that replaced him, remember that when they brought back fake Diesel and fake Razor?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So fake Diesel was actually
wasn't it?
Glenn Jacobs.
Gallows. I thought
that was Glenn Jacobs.
Right.
Kane.
Kane.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was Kane.
Gallows was somebody. Yeah. I mean, I know he was. Right. He did that silly gimmick where he was like out of his mind half the time. I can't remember what that was, but he pretty much didn't recover from that until he went to New Japan for a while. All right. Anything anybody else wants to talk about on the NWO?
They saved wrestling. On them.
Yeah.
How did you know, Dylan? You weren't really old enough, but I know you've watched a lot.
Yeah.
You know, what did you like about what you've seen from WCW and the NWO?
I mean, I thought the NWO, like, because I went and watched the documentaries and stuff that they got on the WWE Network and all that. And, like, to begin with, NWO is, like, really cool. It's, like, exactly kind of like what I would like to see from a faction in wrestling, where they just run the show. And I liked how they didn't really do gimmicks. Everybody went by their name, their real name, and they were just people. They kind of started the whole like no good guys and bad guys. It's just wrestlers, and I like that. But then I mean they quickly went way too far with it. And,
yeah.
But I mean I thought it was cool. I mean what I've watched on it and stuff, I thought it was really cool.
It was the the dadgummest thing. I mean, I remember being so angry when it was going on, you know. And it really did. You really did think that Vince McMahon was taking over WCW. I was there watching it live as a kid when they came in, you know, and then they were talking about the third man, and they kept, you know, that's another story for another time too. You know, who was going to be the third man, because they didn't know till
had to be
much
him.
the night of the match. Yeah, it had to be, and one of the greatest heel turn of all time. Really, I mean, I can't think of another one you could put over over that one. Yeah. All right, here we go. This is you, Paul.
Oh gosh, come on NWA, come on NWA. Something I know nothing about. Wow.
We can
I don't know none of their factions. Okay, throw it around again.
All right. I know where you're going to go with this. I can feel it.
Can I do WCW?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Well, let me get my years right on this. I'm gonna go Dungeon of Doom. Because if they had really wanted to, Kevin Sullivan put that together to put Hogan over, plain and simple. He got every boogeyman put together he could, form the Dungeon of Doom just to put Hogan over, because Hogan walked over all of them. But that's who I'm gonna go, because they had, especially because he brought back some greats from my childhood like Kamala, Big Bubba Rogers. Of course, they gave him different names then, but I go with them. And they had one of my favorite wrestlers of all time in it, or two of them, just because they're that bad of dudes. That was the Barbarian and Ming.
Yeah, and they had Kamala, who had that long running program.
Yes, sir.
With Jerry the King Lawler down in Memphis wrestling.
And Hogan and WWF and
they were definitely one of them, as being a younger fan at the time, looking at the Dungeon of Doom, thinking they're pretty scary. Was the Mummy part of the Dungeon of Doom?
The Mummy showed up twice that I know of, but he was a part of the Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah, I thought
who he was, I couldn't tell you. I think it was Ron Reese. I think
he whacked you with
he's the only guy I
man.
knew was that tall. Yeah,
that was his thing, and he whacked you with those arms. All right, this is me. Let's see what I get. Oh, yay. All right. So, I'm not 100% over on WWE, but for the overall encompassment of what has been in WWE and what is there now, I'm not going to talk about a favorite. I'm just going to talk about one that I enjoyed, and I enjoyed what happened within this faction put WWE in the Attitude Era over. So the Nation of Domination.
Yes, sir.
So you had Rock, you had JBL, you had Ahmed Johnson. Why can't I remember the other guy? Damn,
Farouk.
that guy.
Yeah.
You had Farouk, Ron Simmons. You had Kama,
Yeah.
Mustafa,
Yes.
which was also Papa
Yeah.
Shango, the Godfather.
Yep.
Charles Wright.
Godfather.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I mean that
D'Lo
was
Brown.
a heck of a faction. D'Lo Brown.
Oh yeah, great
do you know
talent
where
there.
D'Lo Brown came from? You know how he got his start in the business? He was
Smoky Mountain
the ring guy for Memphis. Yeah, Smoky Mountain. I was about to say Memphis. Smoky Mountain. He was a ring guy, putting rings together. So yeah, D'Lo. I mean, he carved himself out a nice little portion of the business there from pretty much nothing. Dylan, I mean, do you remember anything much about the Nation of Domination?
I know who they are. I've seen their stuff just because I like history, so I watch old stuff on wrestling. Just
So if you like
something
history,
else,
Dylan,
yeah,
you need to watch when the Nation of Domination just completely killed, flattened, and buried for all time. I can't remember their name. They came over from ECW, but JBL and Ron Simmons, they put a hurting on them. I want to say it wasn't the Nasty Boys, but they were like a Nasty Boys knockoff over in ECW.
Public Enemy.
Yeah, the Public Enemy. Yeah,
okay.
They were trash. I'm sorry.
I don't know that many people. Oh yeah, and JBL and Ron Simmons did not appreciate it, and they went stiff on them. And I mean, you can go back and pull that match up in the archives. It's actually better to watch it on YouTube and let people comment on it. But yeah, they put a hurting on Public Enemy. I mean, Ron Simmons, phenomenal athlete and super strong individual. And then, JBL was known to be a bully anyway.
Yeah.
Billy J.
Did you know that Owen Hart was part of the Nation of Domination?
I do remember that when you bring it up. Yeah, yeah.
But
Owen may have been the real talent of that family, just saying.
Wow.
Oh, for sure. Definitely the most dynamic.
Because he had the match skills of Brett, but he could take to the air too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he would have fit right in the Attitude Era too, where Brett was struggling a little bit, but Owen was a little more malleable to do some of the more sports entertaining kind of things, but could go, could still go. All right, let's go back to the wheel, and this will be Dylan's turn. Here we go. All right, New Japan.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't really watch it. I think the only ones I know some from.
It doesn't have to be now necessarily.
From them being on AEW, the ones they're in the tag team or the trios tag tournament.
Yeah, you're talking about the whatever nation they're calling themselves.
Yeah, United Nation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually
can't think of any
cool
of their names, but yeah.
Yeah, so they've got Will Ospreay as the leader, Aussie Open as tag team, and then they got a couple of Samoan guys. With them. It's I like that faction. It's actually a really cool faction, and a lot of people say that Will Ospreay is the best wrestler of modern times. And I know that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. He's pretty good.
I don't know if he's the best, but he is pretty good.
I tell you, what gets me and what aggravates Ospreay, and they actually have they've actually got some recorded stuff from him and NJPW where he is pretty upset about people saying that Kenny Omega is the greatest. And if you just put them together and watch their in-ring work and watch their mic stuff, I tell you, I think Ospreay's better. I think Ospreay's a better worker. I think he tells better stories. But I know this is going to go against all Jim Cornette's teachings, but
he's not perfect.
That Pac may be better than both of them.
That's for sure.
I mean, if you want to talk about English wrestlers and the best of all English wrestlers, and Pac's got to be right there in that conversation.
Yeah, but old Buddy Matthews, he's pretty good too. He's an English wrestler.
But he's a New Zealander.
Is he? I thought he was English.
Yeah. No, he's from New Zealand.
Then yeah, Pac.
And I believe Buddy Matthews, his girlfriend is Rhea Ripley, if I remember right.
Okay.
That's a bad woman.
If that's true, she towers above Buddy Matthews.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got some China-like qualities to her. I like Rhea Ripley. She's good.
Oh yeah.
I wish they had put together a program with her and Charlotte. I think it'd be great. Anything else? So I was hoping this one would hit for me because I've got a couple that I really like in JPW. Looks like Billy J may as well.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna close it out.
I got something from back in the day.
Oh, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying. The NWO had a New Japan fashion with Muda. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Mike Rotunda, never got the love here in America he deserved, but in Japan they loved him. They had Masachono over there in Japan. I'm missing somebody that was with them over there.
Chinese dishes. I'm kidding. That's a poor attempt at a bad joke.
But back in the day when Inoki and Baba were feuding in Japan, you had IWGP, All Japan, and in New Japan, you had Doc and Gordy. You actually had Hanson and Vader, and they jumped back and forth. That's one of the Americans that went over and made a killing. I mean, literally, they were making more in a month than some of the wrestlers in America were making in 4.
Paul, did you do a wardrobe change?
To do a what?
You were.
I quit trolling. I quit trolling Billy. Yeah, I quit trolling my friend Billy.
Did you go with the black captain's hat as a nod to JR?
Yes, sir. Good old
You're like our
JR.
JR, and Billy J is like Mr. Sockface on AEW.
No.
Dylan's Taz, and I guess that leaves me to be Shivani.
Yeah. There you go.
Minus
you
the
get your ears
earrings.
pierced. Yeah.
No. Oh man.
I like
he used
how
to
they
be
make
so
fun
clean
of him
cut
before.
back in the Gordon
but I
Solie
like
days.
how-
He was so clean cut.
I like how
Oh,
Jericho
yes.
will be like, Shivani, if you don't shut your mouth, I'll come out there and rip that earring right out.
I'll throw a fireball in your face. I'm a wizard.
Yeah. I'm a wizard. God. Jericho knows how to make people hate him.
gosh.
He does.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
This is Billy's. Here we go.
That's right.
Stop.
Oh,
Oh,
Ah,
are you going to need another spin, Billy, or can you go on NWA?
I probably will need another spin because I don't.
All right.
Well,
All right.
was the 4 Horsemen in NWA?
yes, sir.
There you go.
Absolutely.
4 Horsemen it is.
Yeah, that's man. Tully and Arn. I mean that's my guys. Like everybody loves Flair, but I'm a Tully and Arn guy, and that's why
Tully, Arn, and Barry.
I jump out of my seat when FTR hits the ring because they remind me so
Yeah.
much of Tully and Arn. I know that they want to be the Midnight Express, but they're Tully and Arn is who they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they are Tully and Arn all the way. And then you had of course Flair, and you had the interchangeable guy. That gimmick, I can't remember.
Ole. It started off with Ole Anderson, and then it was Barry Windham, then it was
Barry
Lex
Windham.
Luger,
Yeah.
then it was Sid Vicious,
Yep.
then it was like Paul Roma. But the last Horsemen were good too, in a way.
Yeah.
I really liked them. Malenko and Benoit. I can't say Benoit's name on this. Okay. It's an ugly word in some parts of the wrestling
you
world.
know
But
what?
I still respect Benoit's in-ring work.
The work
Yeah.
is the work, I mean, if you couldn't talk about wrestlers for the bad things they did, we couldn't have a show.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say they didn't have a big man, but they did have a big man in a way. I guess they had Steve Mongo McMichael.
Yes. Yep.
So
Yeah, boy, Mongo and Goldberg, worst match ever. Those are two guys that were on roller skates in the ring. Goldberg
Yeah.
got better. Goldberg got better.
Yeah, but I do like that.
Regal had a great
That-
match with Goldberg. He got
That's what I
fired
was
over it,
about
but he
to
had a
bring
great
up.
match with him.
Yeah.
He
That's
forced
what I
him
was
to
about
have
to
it.
bring up.
Yeah.
Regal was like, I'm going
Sorry,
to go
Dylan.
5 minutes. Yeah.
All right, gents. This is for Mr. Paul. That'll work.
All right,
Any era.
easy. NWO Japan. NWO Japan. The actual greatest athletes in the NWO were in. And another guy I loved. I don't know if y'all remember that guy named Scott Flash Norton. He wasn't
Yeah,
like
Scott
muscled up. He was just a big old boy and an arm wrestling champion from Minnesota.
Yeah.
And so I'm going NWO Japan.
That's a good one. Not that I can comment a lot.
And they
you
had
did say
Muda.
Muda. Muda was, I love Muda. Muda's still
Oh, yeah.
in the business. He's still going.
This
saw
is
him
his
on
last
Impact not
year.
long
He's
ago.
on his farewell tour.
Really? He had that other guy that he was training on Impact not too long ago that I thought was really good, and he hadn't showed up hardly anymore. I think his last name was Suzuki. I had to go back and look, but I know he was in NJ. He left Impact. He was in NJPW for a little while, but he was wearing a mask there for a little bit in Impact. Anyway, I don't know the name, so it don't matter. But yeah. All right, this one's me. Babyface factions. Man, the babyface factions are just not as much fun. So
No.
it's
No.
So let's talk about a babyface faction today that I really don't care for. You're never going to hear me say a good word about it. The freaking Best Friends.
Yeah,
I hate them. It's
that
a
was going to be
disgrace
my
to
answer if I got babyface is them, but for
It
the
is
same
a
reason,
disgrace.
like I think it's so stupid, and I don't know. I think they all have
really
potential to
aggravates
be
me.
decent wrestlers, and then they do the stupid
Not
stuff.
Chuck Taylor. Chuck Taylor needs to go
No,
away.
Chuck Taylor's. Yeah, he's not great, but the other two,
I like
they have
Beretta.
potential. Yeah.
Yeah,
Orange
Beretta
Cassidy
can go.
gets on my nerves with the stupid
Yeah.
hands in pockets and all that crap, but he can
And
wrestle. He just
even
does stupid
Danhausen. I
stuff.
think Danhausen is part of their faction now, and Danhausen can go.
Yeah,
But
I think
everything he does
Danhausen's
is
just part
silly.
of everybody's faction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Cursing.
teeth.
Yeah.
I do think it's funny though, and I wish they would tap into this. So I listened to him on Jericho's podcast when Jericho interviewed him, and he does these. He changes everybody's names and adds Hausen to the end of it.
Yeah.
And he changes people's names. I think that's where GW Firebird gets it from. But he would call AEW ANW. I want to go to ANW and get all the root beer. And then AEW Tony, what is it? Tony Elite is what he called Tony Khan.
Elite, yep.
He'd call, what was it he called Jericho? He had some Judas
Yeah.
Hausen. Judashausen.
I think
And he just comes
I
up with
like Danhausen when he comes out to the ring and he's weighing way over 300 pounds,
yeah.
over 6'7". Yeah, like
Well, and I like what he was doing in Ring of Honor. He was talking about just making money. He's like, I'm here to make money. If anyone would pay Danhausen money, you know. And
Yeah.
I just thought that was cool. I mean, who's not in the business to make money? I mean, really, you know. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, here we go, Dylan. Did you get WCW last time?
no. Boy,
Let's give you another one. That's you're
Yeah.
too young. You're too young.
I don't know outside of NWO. It's the first one I got out of here.
Do you know another Attitude Era faction?
Let's sit here and think about it. I might.
Do you want me to give you one that I know you like that you probably didn't think of?
What?
So Evolution.
Oh yeah. Evolution was good stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They
With the Leviathan.
they got Randy Orton in there. Randy Orton, Batista. There's a Randy
Without
Orton,
Evolution,
Batista,
there is no
Flair,
Randy Orton.
Yeah. And then who's the fourth?
Flair, Batista.
Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flair, Batista, Randy Orton, and somebody else.
Triple H.
Triple H. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah, they
greatest
were-
factions of, I mean, what you could say the modern era of wrestling, even though it was 20 years ago now.
No, I thought they did really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked
Definitely
out
had
for
the best music.
yeah. But
I listened to that Motorhead song over and over again.
Yeah, best entrance theme. All of Triple H's entrance themes because they're all Motorhead.
Yeah.
But I mean, it worked out
God
really
rest
good
Betty's soul.
for Randy Orton and Batista. But I mean, Batista's all right, I guess. Randy Orton.
One of the best things I ever seen on on wrestling was when Batista did his last run, and Daniel Bryan started commenting about his belly button tattoo.
Yeah,
That was so funny.
Yeah.
When they let Daniel Bryan loose with a microphone, he's pretty doggone good.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
this is you, Billy Boy.
Oh joy.
All right, modern wrestling factions.
I think this is a faction. It's kind of a tag team, but New Day.
It's a faction. I'll give it a
Yeah.
faction.
New Day. So
It's fair.
I like Kofi. I like Kofi, but and Big E.
I like Xavier
and,
Woods. I'm a big fan of Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods too. Yeah, definitely. They're great. They're funny. I like funny factions, tag teams.
No, I wouldn't think Billy J would like comedy in his wrestling.
No, not at all. I like it serious. But,
You big fan of Joey Ryan?
Joey Ryan?
He's the guy that his finisher was the penis slam.
Oh
yes,
my
I know.
gosh.
Yeah.
He just recently got fired from Disney World because they found out about his allegations, and he was actually. Do y'all know this story? So
No.
Joey Ryan, you know, he was accused. Never. So in his defense, he was never. He was accused but never convicted of like sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, and I believe AEW, may have been Impact. I don't remember. So he did some work in some of the bigger ones, you know, right before this happened. So then he left, and he was trying to find work. So he wound up piloting a boat on Jungle Cruise in Disneyland.
Oh,
And when Disneyland found out who he was, they immediately fired him. But,
yeah.
yeah, that's pretty funny. That came out, I don't know, maybe a month ago, month and a half. Joy
Hey,
Ryan.
Billy,
Yes.
you left out the coolest part about the New Day.
Pancakes?
No, they're old school gimmick. Freebird rules.
Oh, yeah.
They're a 3-man tag team.
Yeah. I liked it.
Whatever two they decide.
Mhm.
And they brought back the synchronized round robin stomp in a mud hole. Always
Yeah.
enjoyed that. And I liked when Xavier Woods was wearing the Sheik's ring boots.
Yeah.
You don't see that much anymore. But that just shows you, that at least he was an old school wrestling fan. All right, this is you, Paul. I hope that you
Here
get
we go.
NWA. Oh,
Stop.
boom. Oh, Paul.
Let's come cool
Paul
with
just got his
WWE.
trousers.
Rigged.
All right, greatest faction
I knew
in
that would make you
NWA. Is it my favorite? I'm gonna go Paul Jones Army. He had the Powers of Pain, Warlord and the Barbarian. He had the Assassins.
Assassins.
Let me take it back. No, I don't want him. Never mind. I want Gary Hart's, the Hart family. Gary Hart, he had Muda, he had Kabuki, he had, who else did he have at one time? Terry Funk. I think who else he had. Anybody that couldn't speak English, Gary Hart had them. So.
Yeah, and that
You know who Gary Hart is, don't you? The bald-headed guy.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. For the people that don't know, this has nothing to do with the Canadian Hearts.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah.
But he was real instrumental behind the scenes too, especially in World Class. He brought the Freebirds in. He booked the angle of Michael Hayes turning on Kerry Von Erich in Von Erich Kerry's cage match with Flair that made the Freebirds heels and basically set the Dallas area on fire.
Yeah.
With them slamming the cage door on Kerry's head.
That was quite a bump too. I think he went hard way on that one. I don't know if it was intended to be hard way, but
he did.
Yeah.
Actually, Terry Bam Bam Gordy slammed the door on him, so
yeah.
Terry didn't know his own strength.
Well, he may not have knew where it was at either.
Freebirds did like to party.
There is a chance he may have been on some powder.
Talk about it.
Could have been.
All right, my turn again. Here we go. Oh yeah. Heel factions. There's so many. What is my favorite heel faction? Golly. Now I'm gonna draw blanks. I get excited about it. Now I'm gonna draw a blank. So I'll tell you. So let me go. So we've talked a lot of old stuff. Let's talk a little new stuff. So the Pinnacle. The Pinnacle in AEW. I really enjoyed the way that I love MJF. So Dylan and I are working on a vlog for this channel, and it's best storytellers, and my best storyteller was MJF. His is Paul Heyman. I think Paul Heyman goes over MJF for me when Dylan said it. But the way MJF ran that faction, the Pinnacle, I loved it. You had FTR in there. You had Wardlow, who didn't know how to use a mic yet, so he needed somebody to talk for him. That was a great heel faction for me. Dylan, I know you have some experience with. Maybe did you start watching AEW soon enough to catch any of the Pinnacle?
Yeah, I caught it right at the tail end. I caught it. I started watching it when MJF and CM Punk were feuding, and that was about the time that they all that it broke up. But yeah, I mean, I did see it. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it. I mean, MJF's good on his own too. You know, especially when he started like feuding with Wardlow, and he's out there in the rafters to stay away from Wardlow, and he's throwing popcorn down on people in the stands.
Yeah.
And like, yeah,
He's got such a slappable face, you know.
yeah, yeah. He's
Billy, Paul, do y'all have anything to comment on the Pinnacle?
Nope.
No, not really.
All right.
I got
All
to
right.
sport more modern day. I do watch NWA on Friday.
NWA Power Hour.
Everything I catch news pretty much highlights from AEW or Impact.
Yeah, and Dylan, you may or may not know this, but NWA is ran by one Billy Corgan. He's the he's
really?
the owner. Yeah,
okay.
huge wrestling fan. A lot of people
Yes,
don't know
sir.
that. All right, here we go, Dylan. He's going to land on WCW again.
Give me another
I'm
one.
just going to go ahead and respin it.
Yeah. I want AEW.
Dylan, I think the world of you, but you don't know what you missed.
I know. Old
So,
school,
Dylan, I don't know if you want to jump on this one or not, but I do want to stop here for a minute just for Paul.
Yeah.
Paul,
Uh-oh.
do you know who that young
Yes,
man
sir.
is? Go ahead, let her rip.
I can't see him. I'm on my phone.
Oh, well, it's
Can't see
Sputnik
him.
Monroe. Sputnik Monroe.
No, but Nick,
Yeah.
heck of a worker. Jim Cornette sings his
Yeah.
praises all the time. Heck of a worker back in the day.
Sputnik Monroe. Jim Cornette says that half of Memphis had the front of their hair dyed blonde like that back in the day when he was big.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Dylan, old school to me is 15, 20 years at least. So you want to take a stab at it or you want to spin again?
Just give me another spin. Just give me one more. Yeah. I only got so much.
I thought it was going to land on NWA.
Yeah, too. WWE. Try to do a newer one. We could do the Shield, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Back when they were big.
it's a good one.
Yeah. I remember the Shield being when they were first a new thing, they were awesome, they were so cool, and then getting very tired of them very fast because John Moxley, Dean Ambrose at the time, he couldn't do anything in WWE really. So he kind of sucked in WWE. And then Roman Reigns at that time was the new John Cena. He had his 5 moves that he would do at the end of the tag match. He'd come in, Superman punch him and spear, and that was it.
I still hate the Superman punch.
Yeah, I do too. And Orange Cassidy does that orange punch crap too. But yeah, I think that's dumb. But Seth Rollins, I think he was the best person in the Shield. I think he's the best person to come out of the Shield. And
I had no idea. I know Billy did because Billy got to see him.
Yeah,
but I had no idea Tyler Black, So when they were in the Shield, I was like, well, if anybody comes out of this, it's going to be Ambrose, and then maybe Reigns. Rollins wasn't even on my radar until Triple H took him under his wing, and then you could kind of start to see him shine then.
Yeah, when they broke up and he started feuding with Randy Orton, that's when we all were like, this guy's good.
My gosh.
When
one of the greatest
had that match at that WrestleMania match.
Yeah, and that probably the greatest RKO of all time. And it couldn't have been done with anybody other than Tyler Black, Seth Rollins. Amazing.
Yeah, when he went for the curb stomp and he stood up, sent him up in the air and called him, that was.
So,
awesome.
Billy, let me ask you this. One of mine and Dylan's favorite clips of Tyler Black when we go on YouTube is when he did the how was it he did this? It was a tornado DDT, right? off of a rather large rotund
No, he
individual.
did like a moonsault off of that dude, pretty much.
Yeah, it was a moonsault.
Yeah.
Did you happen to be around for that?
I've seen video clips of it, but I wasn't there to see it physically. But
I thought there might be a chance it might have been you. You might have been the guy in the ring for that.
No, it's pretty funny though. That clip, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he was amazing, and some of the stuff back in ROH that he did was amazing too.
Yeah, and I knew he was great when I ref one of his matches back in Iowa, and I knew he was going to go somewhere, and that was just before he signed for WWE. And yeah,
Always wondered about his amateur background. I mean, being from Iowa, you would think that he would have to have some amateur background, but you can't find anything on him.
Yeah, I don't think he has an amateur wrestling background.
Yeah. Paul, how do you?
I have a
What do you
question.
think about the Shield, the Hounds of Justice?
I liked them at first. I think they're a whole lot better as singles than they were together, but the Shield hit them over. They're not out there. But I have a question. Is that WWE or does that also go back to WWF?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, that goes back to when they before they took the F out. And
Yeah.
Apparently Triple H is going to put the F back in. He said,
No,
we're going to see. Y'all think it's going to happen?
no way. They're a
publicly
public company.
traded.
They're a
I
public
think-
company. There's too much to change, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. All right, Billy J, you ready?
He
Sure.
can put some attitude back.
Yeah. I thought it would be cool though with that for the F to come back, but All right, here we go, Billy.
Keep going.
Modern faction.
Modern faction. I like old school though, but let's see.
All right. You can phone a friend, man, if you want to.
I need to tag someone.
All right, let's give her another spin.
Don't tag me.
Hot tag.
No, that's even worse. Not that old.
Hot tag.
I would do Fabulous Freebirds.
Hey, there you go. That'll work. Yeah. Michael P.S. Hayes.
Yep.
And he was another one of those slappable face kind of guys that, and then Gordy, good Lord. And you need to have somebody like Gordy in a old school heel faction like that. That's just that immovable object, unstoppable force.
Yeah.
Another life just cut too short because Gordy would have been something if he would have made it. You back with us, Paul?
Gordy was yes, sir.
Stormy.
Good
you said?
internet. No. Just poor Arkansas internet.
Yeah. Well, are you back? I think you froze up on us again.
Yeah, I think you did.
All right, guys, we're going to take one more spin around, one more spin-a-rooney, and then we'll close out. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, here we go. This is for me. National Wrestling Alliance. Oh. So, really need Paul here to weigh in on this, but I'm going to say the Briscoes.
Yep.
I'd go with the Briscoe brothers as a faction because they actually, I don't know that they ever called themselves a faction, but the Briscoes with Harley Race, going back to the Starrcade 83, the Briscoe brothers, they faced Wahoo McDaniel and Jay Strongbow, I believe it was, if I remember right. I don't think, maybe it was, but anyway, yeah. that would be my faction from the NWA. That'd also be a very old school one as well. So, Dylan, I hope you're taking notes over there so you can go back and watch all these names.
Yeah.
All right, here's Dylan's. You work with a modern faction?
Yeah. We'll talk about the Jericho Appreciation Society.
I tell you,
I hate them.
But they're doing their job, aren't they?
Yes, they are. I can't stand them, but that's exactly what they're trying to do, is make people.
That's what they're supposed to
hate
do.
them.
That's what they're supposed to do.
But I mean, yeah,
the Jericho
it's Jericho.
Appreciation Society.
Yeah, sports entertainers.
The pinnacle of sports entertainers.
I like old Daddy Magic though. he just sits there like just.
You want to get smart with me, Shivani?
Like yeah. No, it's so dumb. It's so dumb, but like they do a good job. I mean, Jericho. If there's one thing he is good at, it's making people hate him. And,
he's greatest heel, one of the greatest heels of all time for sure.
Yeah, he knows how to be annoying and say everything that you don't want to hear from wrestling. They know what they're doing. Like it's great, and it's also kind of a knock at WWE too.
Oh yeah. Well, the story goes that he, in the creative room, he said, "Well, what is something that this fan base hates the most?
Yeah,
sports entertainment. You say sports entertainment, they boo." So,
yep.
Billy, have you seen any of this Jericho Appreciation Society match?
Just a couple things. Isn't Sammy Guevara, isn't he in that too?
He's in it now, yeah.
Yeah, crazy Sammy. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot, so I can't comment too much on it. But
it was a pretty good move to put him in it. I think. I don't know, I don't know how I feel about it, because I think he was doing pretty good on his own, being a heel, but he accidentally became a heel pretty much. Like people were liking him. He was doing good, and then he started coming to the ring with his fiance, Ty Mello now. They're married now, but at this time they were just engaged. They started coming to the ring together, and they would start like kissing before a match, and people would start booing them. So then they started making out, like as much as possible, and
nasty
that turned into
sessions.
yeah, just to get the boos, and it like inadvertently turned him into a heel, and now like everybody hates him, and they're like stick him in the JAS.
The Jericho Appreciation Society.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, Billy. What are you hoping for? What do you want to come up here, Billy?
I'm hoping the wheel breaks.
All right, here we go.
Not NWA.
I'm going to spin it again, Billy.
Yeah, please. No idea.
Can you work with it?
Yeah, give me a second. I'm thinking. How about there's the new faction, the Judgment Day in WWE.
I was going to drop that hint to you, and then you said it. Yeah.
Yep. So Finn Balor's in it, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest. And I love Finn Balor when he was in single action. But I think this is a great faction that just started recently. And I guess
I think it's a good way to bring back some of the stuff that he did and was good at when he was leading the Bullet Club as Prince Devitt.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's giving him an opportunity to do that kind of work.
And I forgot that Edge was also in it as well too.
Well, so. Edge started it, I think, and then they kicked him out. And they're trying to bring in
Edge
Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, Edge started it.
Yeah.
Is Dominic in it?
They're trying to get him. He's going to end up joining. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not in it
They've
yet.
got to do something with him because
he's not as dead.
He's got to be in a group to be to pull off any kind of tough guy gimmick, he's going to have to be in a group because his face is just.
Well,
He doesn't look tough as a baby face. He doesn't look tough as a heel.
he can't.
He's just a marshmallow, man.
He can't do quite much of anything that Rey Mysterio could do either.
No.
He's
No, I mean when he first came out, he had the hearts of the fans because everybody remembered him when he was a little kid, you know.
Yeah.
But now, ooh,
it's like, this guy can't wrestle.
They had to move him to the top, you know. I mean, just because of his name, but yeah.
But still.
So one that I wanted to bring up, and I just mentioned it, and never got the opportunity, was the Bullet Club.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, probably, you know, other than maybe the Four Horsemen, one of the longest running factions. I mean, it has not stopped. And they do rip a lot of things off, but I think it's cool how they evolve. You know, right now it's, I think the Tongas, you've got I think there's a Tonga that's in it. You've got Ace Austin from Impact Wrestling, which is probably the best worker in that promotion right now. There's another guy.
Part of it.
Yeah, I mean, all the old school Bullet Club guys are still technically Bullet Club.
Yeah, like AJ Styles too.
Even AJ comes out and still does it,
yeah.
and so does Finn, and
then
got Gallows and those guys that are still
Switchblade.
riding coattails. Yeah, Switchblade. Now I like Switchblade.
Yeah.
If you've listened to some of his promos in New Japan, and they're full of language, but my goodness, he gives a real good, realistic promo. I'm a big fan of Jay White. I wish we could see more of him on All Elite.
Yeah.
Thought we were going to get to.
Yeah, they had him do those like 2 matches, and that's it.
Yeah. Sling Blade. But yeah. But you know, when the Bullet Club was big, you know, even to the Cody days, you know, it was still good. But the Prince Devitt, AJ, and then Cody, those were some of the best Bullet Club days. And then even some of the Omega stuff. Omega, Hangman, the Bucks. I'd like to see them get some mainstream time. That's what I was hoping was going to happen when Gallows and Machine Gun, can't remember his name. The Good Brothers, anyway. The Good Brothers and AJ came over, and then you already had Prince Devitt there, and everybody was wearing Bullet Club shirts. Everybody was chanting Bullet Club. They just never did anything with it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if New Japan has some sort of copyright hold. I mean, they wear their stuff in other promotions, but do they have some sort of rights on being able to actually use it in stories or something? I don't know. It's the best thing that New Japan probably has going as far as merchandise sales go nationwide, I'm sure, or globally. All right, so we're going to start closing this thing out. Stuff that's coming up this week that's going to be good. You've got the Moxley CM Punk match, which is going to be fantastic. What else do we have? The Trios tournament continues in AEW.
Forget who's going this week.
You've got the
Dark
one
Order.
that I'm excited to see is the Aussie Open with with Ospreay.
Yeah.
And they're going to wrestle Death Triangle. That's going to be a good one. That'll be a barn burner. And then what else do you have? You've got
it's Dark Order and House of Black.
Dark Order.
Yeah,
I like Johnny Hungy. I do like Johnny Hungy.
Yeah, I like him, but that's it.
But another big match, you've got Dax. Dax in a match
Dax
with.
Harwood.
Anytime I can see Dax, I'm pretty excited about that.
Who is it he's going against?
Wouldn't Garcia, I don't think. Wouldn't Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. It was somebody that he was saying, you say you're the best in the world. I remember all that kind of stuff. And
yeah.
Sorry, I don't remember right away, but
I
yeah,
don't
I mean,
remember.
I'm just excited. That just shows you how over FTR is. I just want to see Dax. Doesn't matter who
Yeah.
he's against. I just want to see Dax. We're finally going to get to see Ricky Starks and Hobbs.
Yeah.
And we've got, is Clash at the Castle this next coming weekend?
Don't know.
Clash at the Castle is going to be pretty good, I think, too.
Looking it up.
It's going to be interesting.
September 3rd.
September 3rd. So we're still a couple of weeks away from Clash at the Castle.
Yes.
So, unfortunately,
Well, I like
WWE's
other-
roster is just not big enough yet. But I'm excited to see what Triple H can do with what he's got. But until he builds that roster a little bit, we're going to see some of the same matches over and over. But at least he's more creative than the guys that have been there.
And Trish Stratus is coming to Raw on Monday.
Really?
Really?
Now, was it Trish that showed up at the Impact Pro, the Hall of Fame thing?
Yes, she was there at
Trish?
the Hall of Fame in Iowa. Yep.
Yeah. Trish Stratus. She doesn't get enough. She doesn't get enough credit for how good a female wrestler she was, just because of the era that she was in.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because there was some good wrestlers, but that was the bra and panties era of female wrestling because they let
Lita was
Ronnie
good.
Ace run.
Trish was good.
Yeah. The WWE was trying to sell the wrong thing with female wrestlers at that point, and there were actually some good ones. All right, well, let's do the roundabout here. I'm going to give you the screen here, Billy J, and let you talk about what you have coming up this week on your channels.
Well, I just had a live show earlier tonight. We talked about what to pack for your cruise, and I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about next Saturday. Maybe activities on a cruise. I'm about ready to go on a cruise in about 3 weeks, so I'm excited for that. And I had a vlog in the Raid Parade this past Friday. That was the Blue Angels flying over Pensacola Beach. And I'm going to be in the Raid Parade this Friday, but I'm still working on the video. It'll probably be on the Pensacola Airport. Not sure what's going to exactly be yet. So I'm still working on it, and that's what I got going on.
So, Billy, I apologize for not catching. It's been like 2 weeks in a row that I've missed your live, but it's just
Josh, you're out of here.
I know. I know. I have missed a lot of people's lives the past few weeks, but we've had a lot going on. Dylan knows my saying about excuses. Everyone has them. They're like buttholes. They all stink. But we'll get back in the groove of seeing everybody's lives here. Hopefully.
Sounds good.
All right. Let me pull Mr. Billy J down. Hang on. Cool. I did it right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's give Dylan the solo layout so he can talk about everything he has going on in Korea.
I don't know why you do this. I've got nothing.
I'm training you, man. I'm training you.
I'm going to be working. And that's it.
So I should probably ask you about what you have done this week instead of what you have coming. So you showed me some pictures last night of some really good looking food.
Oh, yeah. I went to a new Korean barbecue place last night. Haven't been to before. It was 17,000 won, which is like $14. And it's all you can eat meat and all you can drink beer.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like
an
excursion.
Yeah, some of the Korean barbecue places I've been to before, the meat they bring you, it's thinly sliced, almost like deli meat, small. Yeah. And not this place. They bringing out whole thick flank steaks, pork ribs, pork belly, and then there's they always have like buffet style sides you can get with kimchi and
cheese and stuff.
Yeah, kimchi, pickled onions. And, it's a lettuce wrap place, but very good. That was the highlight of my week.
Love Korean barbecue. Love it.
Yeah, it's some good stuff. Yeah.
All right.
And this place is different too than the other places I've been to. The other places I've been to, it's been like a gas stove that they'll turn on.
They did charcoal on this one.
It wasn't even charcoal. It was just wood. They had a hole in It was just they'd come put the coals in the middle of the table and they put chicken
That
wire
was
over
so
top
good.
of it. Yeah.
So when you get back and you're in Clarksville, the New Korea that we used to go to in Clarksville all the time, we'd go when they had the buffet out. If you go there for dinner time, they do that there too. They bring out
Really?
that's the most authentic one in Clarksville. But
Yeah, it's
I
good.
love Korean barbecue. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
All right, for us, what we've got going on, me and Chastity, we got a lot of exciting things coming up. So I appreciate everyone that showed up to our premieres this week, even though Chastity tried her best to fill in for me on the Pioneer Park one. I was busy with work. I've tried to go back and answer as many questions as I can for folks that had questions on Pioneer Park and Fairbanks. Today, neither one of us were able to get on because we were both busy, and we premiered the Best Western Plus Pioneer Park Inn, which is where I'm at right now. And for the money we paid, this is not bad. I mean, it's anywhere else is about $400 a night unless you stay in an Airbnb during the Aurora Borealis season up here. So it's okay. I mean, probably wouldn't be happy with it if it was anything other than work. I wouldn't want to bring Chastity up here and let this be a romantic getaway, but it's fine for work. So got a lot more coming up. I actually took some video of eating at Taco King. So came all the way to Alaska and decided to go eat at a taco place today. I just needed something to eat, so I grabbed a quick bite, but they had halibut tacos. So I'm going to give my assessment on Alaskan wild halibut tacos from the Taco King, and they were good. It's not much I don't like. And then I'll be on the raid parade. It's not just me, it's Chastity, of course, but it'll be me in the flesh because a lot of she's not here. I wish she was, but a video that we did on the Air Museum. So that was part of the Pioneer Park as well. That's why I didn't really talk about it, because we're going to do a separate video for just the Air Museum. Tomorrow, I plan on doing a little fishing and a little moose hunting. Not hunting, but just trying to find a moose and video it. And I'm still trying to see the Aurora Borealis. So hopefully we'll be able to get all of that on video, and a lot of videos coming. And then, we have our live stream tomorrow night, which is going to be a guys' night. I've got, let me see here. Billy, I want to try to have you on there, but I don't know. You may know the answer to this. So I have Greg, Kurt from CME Travel, Scott, Paul, and Andrew from the Funnelheads, and I would be 6. Is that full unless I have the upgrade? Or am I able to have 6 visitors plus me?
I don't know the answer to that.
We will try it then. So I'll put the link out there, and I told the same thing to Sean from Downunder Cruisers, because he's not able to be there. I was like, we'll see if we can. I'm not sure if I can have 6 plus me or 6 and me. So we'll see. And again, we will said the raid parade. Everybody needs to join the raid parade. If you guys haven't seen the raid parade or haven't been on raid parade, go over to Going Green Mom, check out the schedule for the raid parade. You get to see a ton of great creators and Billy J all at once.
Yeah. I found the answer. It's 6 on-screen participants.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll work that out. We'll work it out. Let's see. There's a chance that Paul's internet may not work for him, and there's always. I just need to break down and pay the monthly fee, because apparently I have more than 6 friends now. So surprise, surprise.
That's crazy.
All right. So, but folks that are not able to come on to that doesn't mean you're not going to be on the next one when we have a guys' night. So, I apologize. One thing, though, that I did want to mention, so I mentioned Andrew and the Funnelheads. We are going to do on the last Wednesday of this month. I believe it's the 30th. Not real sure. But anyway, on that Wednesday, we're going to do a joint live. So we will have, our Moonlight Adventures will go live. They're going to go live with Funnelheads. We're going to invite each other to our lives. And you've seen this with PVA and Guga and Rob. We're going to do something similar and try to get as many folks as we can on within an hour or 2 hours time. Get on, talk about their channels, share some stuff with us. So that's going to be a fun time. We'll try and get that put out here pretty soon so everybody can get that on their calendars. But all right. And Meg has a question. She says, if it's guys' night, can she pick on all the guys? Yes, you may. You may pick on every single one of them except me. You can pick on the rest of them, though. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. It's a great time, as always. I knew this one was going to be fun. Let me know how you felt about the wheel. Did it slow down the action? Should we bring it back? Should we do it different? I know you didn't like it, Billy. I was thinking kind of midstream. I was thinking about an audible. Maybe what we should do is spin it and then go around the horn and everybody talk. Spin it instead of putting the spotlight on one person. I like the wheel. I think it adds a little bit of flair, but I also don't want
me to talk about NWA.
There's that too. So, awesome. I appreciate that, Aaron. Appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah, he needs a push. He's a good worker. All right, guys. So for all you folks out there, the people out in the ether, we appreciate it. We're glad you guys support us. We enjoy this. This is fun and therapy for us as much as anything, and we love it. So thank you guys so much. World Wrestling Vlog is out.